Introduction and Preface from The Pursuit of God. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording by David Leeson. The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning. Hosea 6:3. Introduction. Here is a masterly study of the inner life, by a heart thirsting after God, eager to grasp at least the outskirts of His ways, the abyss of His love for sinners, and the height of His unapproachable majesty, and it was written by a busy pastor in Chicago. Who could imagine David writing the 23rd Psalm on South Halsted Street, or a medieval mystic finding inspiration in a small study on the second floor of a frame house on that vast flat checkerboard of endless streets, where cross the crowded ways of life, where sound the cries of race and clan, in haunts of wretchedness and need, on shadowed threshold dark with fears, and paths where hide the lures of greed. But even as Dr. Frank Mason North, of New York, says in his immortal poem, so Mr. Tozer says in this book, "Above the noise of selfish strife we hear thy voice, O Son of Man." My acquaintance with the author is limited to brief visits and loving fellowship in his church. There I discovered a self-made scholar, an omnivorous reader with a remarkable library of theological and devotional books, and one who seemed to burn the midnight oil in pursuit of God. His book is the result of long meditation and much prayer. It is not a collection of sermons. It does not deal with the pulpit and the pew, but with the soul athirst for God. The chapters could be summarized in Moses' prayer, "Show me thy glory," or Paul's exclamation, "Oh, the depth of the riches both of the wisdom and knowledge of God!" It is theology not of the head, but of the heart. There is deep insight, sobriety of style, and a catholicity of outlook that is refreshing. The author has few quotations, but he knows the saints and mystics of the centuries: Augustine, Nicholas of Cusa, Thomas à Kempis, Van Huyghel, Finney, Wesley, and many more. The 10 chapters are heart-searching, and the prayers at the close of each are for closet, not pulpit. I felt the nearness of God while reading them. Here is a book for every pastor, missionary, and devout Christian. It deals with the deep things of God and the riches of His grace. Above all, it has the keynote of sincerity and humility. Samuel M. Zwemer, New York City. Preface. In this hour of all but universal darkness one cheering gleam appears. Within the fold of conservative Christianity there are to be found increasing numbers of persons whose religious lives are marked by a growing hunger after God Himself. They are eager for spiritual realities, and will not be put off with words, nor will they be content with correct "interpretations" of truth. They are athirst for God, and they will not be satisfied till they have drunk deep at the fountain of living water. This is the only real harbinger of revival which I have been able to detect anywhere on the religious horizon. It may be the cloud the size of a man's hand, for which a few saints here and there have been looking. It can result in a resurrection of life for many souls, and a recapture of that radiant wonder which should accompany faith in Christ, that wonder which has all but fled the Church of God in our day. But this hunger must be recognized by our religious leaders. Current evangelicalism has, to change the figure, laid the altar and divided the sacrifice into parts, but now seems satisfied to count the stones and rearrange the pieces, with never a care that there is not a sign of fire upon the top of lofty Carmel. But God be thanked that there are a few who care. They are those who, while they love the altar and delight in the sacrifice, are yet unable to reconcile themselves to the continued absence of fire. They desire God above all. They are athirst to taste for themselves the piercing sweetness of the love of Christ about whom all the holy prophets did write and the psalmists did sing. There is today no lack of Bible teachers to set forth correctly the principles of the doctrines of Christ, but too many of these seem satisfied to teach the fundamentals of the faith year after year, strangely unaware that there is in their
Sample complete. Ready to continue?